And I'm Heather.
Welcome to Small Town Big Thoughts.
Luna, love good Connor.
Welcome to episode 7. We got our manager here with us today.
I call her a Roomba because she's like a Roomba. If you drop the slightest crumb, she will leave.
That's good. I wish my daughter to do that. They're like very picky. They're like, I don't like that.
The only thing she won't eat is like lettuce and pickles. So anything else, it's game. Especially if there's ranch or gravy on it.
Dang.
Ranch is her.
That is so weird.
The other day I was eating carrots and I gave her one and she like ate it and spit it out. And then I like put a little ranch on it and then she ate it right away. And I was just like, you're high maintenance.
That is so funny. I would never seen a dog eat ranch.
It's so bad. Don't do this at home.
No. So today is just gonna be like a free form episode. We're just gonna talk to you guys about whatever.
Whatever. We're gonna have a good conversation.
Something that I've been looking at is the economy.
Yes.
In different ways to save money. All this week I spent putting together like DIY recipes of
Is that why I got an email?
Yes. Yeah, I shared it with Victoria, and then I was like, well, Victoria or Reba might want to make some of her own stuff anyway.
I was like, okay. Didn't know where it came from. I was like, maybe we had a conversation like I forgot about, and then like, it was just I was like, all right, I'll just star it so I can find it.
I've been making hard into some sourdough starters.
Really?
Me too. But then I found out you have to like feed it and nurture it, and I don't even want to feed and nurture myself, Luna, or Justin. So I think I'm out on that.
I had some that was given to me, and I didn't know that you had to feed it. So it was just chilling, and it's got some like, it's looking a little brown these days, but they say that if it does form a substance on the top, like some kind of liquid, that it's still okay until it gets moldy. But it's like black now, so I feel like I'm just gonna throw that away.
Yeah, I think that's definitely.
I waited a little too long. But
well, money saving tips. I feel like I have, especially like if we want to eat out, I feel like I've been looking at like where there's good deals and then planning our meals around that.
Yeah.
Like at the Mexican restaurant here in town on Thursday nights, they do fajitas for 2 for like $24.99. And you get like double that, double the rice and beans, and they give you like a case of the block. And so we'll like playing around that sometimes. Or if he's gone, I'll order it and then eat it for like dinner, and then maybe lunch if we don't eat it all.
Yeah. I love doing that. I love, like, I went to Subway the other day and I got a foot long 2 meals. Which they're freaking, it was $20 for my meal anyways. I got cookies. And I didn't know that if you freaking add bacon, it's $2.50. I was like,
that's pricey for bacon.
$2.50 for bacon. There was like 3 pieces of bacon on there. I was like, I could have bought a whole half pound of bacon for that.
What makes me mad is when I go, like, I'll order through the app, and then I'll go pick it up, and all the shit that I paid extra for is not there. It's like, I paid you $6 extra for, like, extra cheese, guac, bacon, and none of that is on there. Like, how can you mess up a sandwich that bad?
It just infuriates me how much everything has, like, gone up. And for no reason.
I just saw a post on Facebook where people, like, were going through, like, their old orders, looking at the prices of things, and then comparing it to today's prices. And I'm like, almost everything has doubled in price.
Yeah, and I saw...
it always happens without you noticing.
I saw a video today that like Tyson is one of the big ones, but they admitted that their costs have not gone up, and they just increased it, or they just increased the prices simply because of the pandemic and the war, and they had a reason to increase the prices, and then reported record numbers of profit to their shareholders. So, in my opinion, I
Yes.
think the best way to take back the economy is to do it all yourself, grow it yourself, make it yourself, do it all yourself. I mean, if we're not giving them our money, they're not winning. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
But you also gotta have the energy to do all that, and I feel like I have none.
See, I was thinking today, like, people always want to be like, your generation doesn't want to work, but like, that's a lie. I don't want to work for you. I would work for myself. I would get out there. I would pick up those carrots. I would pick the fucking onions, the potatoes, all of it. I will get out there and I will work for myself. I don't want to work for you. I don't want to give you my energy. I'd rather put that into something that I can do myself.
I've been feeding to start.
Yes, me too.
I have garlic growing right now because I planted in October to like harvest in July, and it's like sprouted and all that. And with all the cold weather, I've been like hardcore, like trying to cover it up. Then I cover it so it gets a little bit of sun. And I'm like, you're not dying on my watch.
It's so sad that my garlic didn't grow last year. Like, it literally got almost ready, and then everything just died out of nowhere.
But you had tomatoes and
Oh, we had great tomatoes. Like, we had this one tomato that grew this big around.
that's crazy.
It's so crazy. Garlic grew for me, but my tomato plants didn't start growing until like September. So, right
And then
before
you saw how big our zucchini and our yellow squash got.
Oh yeah.
They were huge.
Yeah, my squash got huge last year too.
I didn't even attempt it. I was
But
like,
I used a lot of manure in my soil, because I felt like it was like really nitrogen poor, which I was wrong. I was so wrong. My neighbors have cows, and I should have just got their shit and brought it over to my house.
Literally. Yeah, I'm excited though. I already pulled out all my seeds. Justin was like, it's too early. And I'm like, it's not though. I gotta map it out. And the old swing set, I think I'm gonna make that my loofah trellis just because it's so big that I think I'm gonna just try and start it like on one of the poles, or I have a net I could probably zip tie and then like grow it on that. But that's my plan.
I saw a guy the other day that he does like chaos gardening, is what he calls it. And he was just like throwing shit everywhere. And I was like, I feel like that's what I'm gonna do this year.
Is it the abundance guy on TikTok?
I don't know. I saw him on Facebook, but he was just like throwing seeds everywhere. And I was like, I feel like that's what I'm going to do this year. I'm just going to like, because he bought like a bag of beans at the store. It's like, you just throwing them. It was like a little bit over there, a little bit over there. You add some sunflowers in and you just throw them all around. And I was like, I love this dance.
Dude, yes. I love that.
I'm excited to grow more potatoes.
I love
The potatoes that grew last year, I used them in pot roast, and they were like the purple potatoes.
Yeah.
The best potatoes I've ever had.
I've done russet and gold. I haven't tried purple though. I bet it was so good though.
The thing that surprised me the most after sitting in a crock pot for like 8 hours, they didn't get mushy like the other potatoes did. They still stayed firm, but they were soft.
I baked some, or I got some like little potatoes the other day, and they had purple potatoes and red potatoes in there. The purple potatoes did the same thing, and I was like, I don't know if these are done. And then I ate it, and it was so good.
So I love potatoes. I feel like I could be a potato connoisseur, but like the red and the purple ones are like a tougher, like harder, more density, I guess you'd say. Whereas like golden and russet, like they are more watery and like fall apart more. So
Okay,
yes,
that makes sense.
because especially if you like make mashed potatoes, I feel like you can tell the difference when you use like red versus like the russet and all that. So
I want to, this goes back to our history, our family history, but I want to know what potatoes they grow in Ireland. Because they grow them all year round, and that was like their main source of food. So I want to know, like, I want to be able to do that. Like, I really want to get into winter gardening, but I don't like the cold.
I don't either.
Just get a greenhouse.
See, I tried to convince Diego of that the other day. The Nebraska guy, I looked up the layout for his underground greenhouse, and it really doesn't look that hard, except for keeping the dirt out on your walls.
Yeah.
That was like the hardest part that it seemed to me. So
Yeah. And if you didn't want to start that like grand, you could. I've seen people even do just like a little 4x4 box, and they put it in the ground, and then have like the little enclosed lid. So you could start small like that with like lettuce or something.
Yeah,
Right.
it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Like they have those ones where you just get they're like lean-tos. You just put it on the side of the house. It just has like these metal things, and you just put a plastic tarp over it. And people use that too.
I definitely think I might need something sturdier. We're like way out in the wind. We're on the plains.
My
We
little
don't have any trees.
greenhouses I bought from Aldi's beat up
Yeah.
from the wind, and like I anchored it down with so many little things, and I even put like a heavy pots on the bottom thinking it'd like help, and this Oklahoma wind and it comes sleeping down the plains.
Yeah, I think theirs would definitely be a really good idea if I had some where to block the wind. But really, I feel like our house just gets like whipped around. Like you can hear the
Especially y'all out there.
what is it? The windows whistle. It's scary sometimes. I'm like, is somebody here? Do you guys hear that? Did you hear that? She's like,
When our windows do that, Luna gets terrified and sleeps with us.
the dogs do too. They're all scared. And I'm like, it's okay. It's just the wind. Don't worry. And they're like, no.
Ma'am, do you have any comment about the wind?
She's like, it's scary.
The wind. But yeah, she'll like come up because she hates sleeping with us. Like she'll lay in our bed all day. But as soon as like one of us gets in bed and like we'll try and cuddle with her, she gets up and goes to the spare bedroom. But if it's thundering or if there's wind, it's a guaranteed cuddle session.
Oh yeah, thunderstorms. Mm-mm.
Other than that,
Yeah, Sadie hates thunderstorms too. She'll crawl up in bed and she'll just dig at the blanket till you put her under it. She'll curl up under it right next to you.
That's so sweet, but so sad.
I love that because one time we ran to Tulsa and a little storm came through and we got back home and we were looking everywhere. We couldn't find her. And I was like, oh my God, what if she got so scared? She like jumped the fence and ran away. And like I legit was like starting to panic. And hello. And then I went to the bathroom and the door was shut. And I opened it, and I guess she got so scared she like ran in there and like shut the door on her. So she was chilling in the dark in a thunderstorm.
Poor Lynn.
I think that traumatized her. I felt so bad. So now I'm always like, shut the door before we leave. But she will not be stuck under my wall.
That is so sad. Kia has gotten stuck whenever we first got her and took her to the house. She got stuck in the back room a couple of times. And so now we don't have any carpet in there.
Yes. But these kisses. She loves her aunties. But no, like going back to like saving money and the economy and all that, even for dogs, like the dog food has gone up. And so we're trying to like figure out like what to feed her. I think I'm gonna move towards half kibble, half Whole Foods. Try to make it all last a little bit longer. So
That's okay. So I went to the vet the other day with Quick because he's a long-haired dog and he gets poop stuck in his butt sometimes. So I couldn't get it out. So we went to the vet. And
Very temperamental about his fur too.
yeah. But so we went and she was like, well, what do you feed him? And I told her that we've switched to mostly Whole Foods. and we do a lot of protein and a couple of vegetables, but they don't really like them. So then she said, well, he might have this problem because we're doing mostly protein. And so she was like, you definitely need to add like some kibble in there, some hard dog food. And I was like, that's so hard because they won't eat it. And then she was like, yeah, but they will eat it. I was like, no, they won't. And she was like, you can leave them without food for like 3 days and they'll be fine. Eventually they will eat it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. She was like, it's just tough love. You just have to give them some tough love. And I was like, okay, I guess I will. But they have started to eat the kibble too.
Oh, good.
So, and also I started to ground up, like puree everything together, and that really helped.
Have you tried mixing in maybe some warm water with the kibble to maybe soften it up?
I do
Or
like
bone broth?
yeah, I do like chicken broth or vegetable broth or like whatever I cook or whatever comes out of the pan that I cooked. I just freeze that and then I'll save it, and or I do like little cups, I guess.
Sometimes if I don't
She's
like,
asking to be
I
explained.
know, but no, sometimes like if we don't have chicken broth or anything, or like I haven't made any lately, Native Pet, shout out, they have like the powdered one, and so I'll get that like a scoop and some water and then mix it up and then pour it over. I have noticed she don't like when it's cold water though, like or too hot. Like it needs to be like a room temperature water. Yeah, so that's an easy quick scoop if you don't have any.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
Actually, I think I have like 10% off. Refer.
Yeah, send it to me.
Look and send it to you. Because those are the vitamins she uses. We do allergy, we do joints and hip, and we do calm, and then the bone broth. Oh, and fish oil.
I feel like I should add in some sort of vitamin for quick. Every time I get like I've tried like the treats that are, or I guess they're kind of like treats, but they're like for bone and hips, and uh he didn't really like them.
I will just stick her, like if I give it to her, she'll eat it, but then like the few times she won't eat it, I'll just like shove it down in her dog food, and then she eats it. So
The vet did give me some gabapentin to give to quick, and the pharmacy gave me capsules.
okay.
So I tried that and I put it in like one of those little pill pockets.
Oh no, she
Spit
knows
that
what
shit
those
out.
are. I have to like wrap it in like 5 layers of ham.
Yeah.
See, I just shove it in their mouth.
Yeah, I always
Like,
little into it.
I just open their mouth as wide as they can open it, and then I tip their head back, and I will either place it as far back in their mouth as I can,
And then
or I'll
hold it.
just drop it and then shut
Shut
their
your
mouth.
Yes.
And then hold it closed for like 1-2 seconds, and usually they swallow it.
My heart can't do that.
I know, I can't either.
See, you just gotta think that it's for the best. It's to better their life. You're not doing it to hurt them.
Luna's easy, just some ham and some cheese, and it's a guaranteed swallow. So
She is like a detective. She will sniff out any pill in anything. She's crazy.
Kita's always the one that I have like the easiest time giving pills to. Quick's the one that runs and like,
See, for me, Quick will just all I gotta do is give it to him, and he's like, okay, thank you.
like her heartworm medicine, she'll just chow on it like it's nothing. Like
Really?
induce, it was a whole thing. And, like trying to get him to eat it.
I remember when I had to give the cats pills, and they were certain pills where they had to drink water afterwards.
Oh god.
So and then I'd give them the pill, and then I'd have to take a syringe with water and like waterboard them. I felt bad for that one, but
It's just tough love.
I'm not good at practicing.
I worked at the SPCA for a little bit. I can give meds to dogs.
You're good. You're good.
You've always been the animal person. Not the animals always hated me.
I've had all kinds of animals. I've had a snake, a lizard, hamsters, cats, dogs.
I'm allergic to dogs. Well, I'm allergic to cats, so that kind of solves that. So I'm definitely not a cat person.
I want to get a snake. Oh,
No,
my
thank
God.
you.
That sounds big. Only ever dogs. I had a dog once when I was younger. It was a Yorkie Shih Tzu or whatever, something like Chihuahua Shih Tzu, something like that. And its name was Diego. Lexi named him after like Dora and Diego. But then my stepdad let him out there to the restroom and a truck hit him and then kept driving. And so they like put him RIP to rest. So that I really didn't like have any other dog. And then when I got with Justin, I was like, oh my God, like the way Deuce drinks water is so annoying. Like he drinks like 5 gallons in one setting, and it's always late at night when we're going to bed.
And then he would sit there and water and
It's just like, oh my gosh, like I'm not sure about this dog. And then like he would just like sprawl out and like all that. And I was just like, he's taking up my side. And then somewhere in between there and then like moving in together, I was like, so this is my 80-pound lap dog. This is my child. My baby.
I missed you so much. She was the best dog.
Me too. I legit cried over it the other night. We were watching something and they were talking about like dogs that have passed. And then that same day at work, I had someone visit and like we got started talking about like dogs and burying or cremating them. And I was just like, I just miss them so much. And I was just like having a moment.
I keep seeing, I've been watching Amazon Prime and the commercials that are on there. They're about what is that movie? A Dog's Purpose.
Oh, yeah.
And oh my gosh, every time I freaking see the commercial, I want to cry.
I haven't seen any of them, but Marley and
Oh,
Me fucked me up. So I cannot watch movies like that with about like dogs. I just
Yeah.
I
Dog's Purpose is so
I
good.
watch those when I need a good cry sesh.
I can't because it puts me like manic.
Like Marley and Me, I think I first watched that in like 6th grade at school. And yeah, and we watched that was like
Was the
show.
therapist on hand?
Right? No, that was like the show that they just like loved to play. We watched it like 42 times in 6th grade. It was so wild. But then whenever I got older, I watched that one, A Dog's Purpose, and it is so much more sad. Like if you did not like it is
Okay, I can't. Homeward Bound is, and even then I'm like
To that movie is even sadder.
oh my
To A
God.
Dog's Purpose. There's
Yeah.
another one.
Yeah.
Oh God, I couldn't.
It's
That
like
was just like oh.
Sorry, spoiler alert. It shows the dog like going through all its lives and everything, and then in its last life that it gets, he goes back to his original owner when he's an old man, and like he grows up like with his grandkids.
I'm pretty sure that's what I watched. What is that one called?
I'm like
A Dog's Purpose?
That's the one I'm talking about.
Then what's the first one called?
I only knew there was one.
Well, I know there's two because there's one where he gets the dog as a little kid and he grows up with it.
I thought that was all in the same movie. I thought it was like all the dogs' lives.
oh my
I know
God.
there's two movies. We're gonna Google this.
It's like really sad. It like pretty much shows that like it's reincarnation. The
Yeah.
dog just reincarnates, but every single lifetime he finds the owner.
Oh, A Dog's Journey is the second one.
Oh, okay. And that's the one that in every single life he interacts with him once, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope Deuce and Luna find me in every single life.
What if Deuce is Luna?
Luna was already alive when Deuce died.
That's okay.
I feel
I
like
like to believe in reincarnation though, because I
yes.
read this one story a few years ago where this person believed there might be a whole religion based on this, I'm not sure. But this person believed that each life that you live, you're sent down to learn a lesson. And when you've learned that lesson, you can then move on to your next life. And then once you've learned all your lessons, that's when you can ascend to the higher place. And I like to think that. It's nice to think about.
Gives you a purpose while you're here.
I think the freakiest one for me I saw on TikTok was there was a mom who was talking with their toddler. And the toddler was like freaking out about buildings and like airplanes, and he was like obsessed with it. And then like he started giving like little detail here and there, and then like she started piecing it together. And then a friend of hers was like, hey, I think your kid is someone who died in 9/11. And like he gave so much detail, she pinpointed it back to one person who did pass away.
That is so wild.
See, I read so many stories like that too, where kids like they're like, "Oh, this is who I was in past." Like some remember who they were, what their name was, and exactly how they died and what happened. Like this one story I remember in particular, like this kid, he was like, "Oh yeah, I worked in the boiler rooms on the Titanic. This is where I died, and I remember that door shut and we couldn't get out and we drowned."
Yes.
And like,
Are you gonna ask Ellie?
Or even the kids that are
I want to know.
even the kids like they'll post about it, and it'll be the kid will be like, "I was your grandpa," or like things like that, and I'm just like,
yes, I want to ask Ellie. Like I like whenever the kids like describe like why they picked you as my mom, you know, like things like that. They're like, "Oh, I saw you crying in the park one day." Or like, "I was watching you from the stars." And things like that. Like, who says that? How do they know to say that?
I'm with you.
Me and Chance are getting ready to go get tattoos tomorrow. He's getting Ellie's footprint on his chest.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
And you're getting the
the vines with the flowers that wrap around my arm.
heck yeah, that.
I'm a little nervous about it.
Why?
Because it's gonna go around my whole arm. It's not just in one spot. So
Elizabeth said that her person who does her tattoos, because that's what she likes. Were you part of that conversation? She always gets the bands, and she said that her tattoo person hates her because it's hard to like keep it even all the way around.
See, mine's not just gonna go like straight around. It's gonna like wrap around my arm. So like it leaves some room for a little air, and you know, artwork's never perfect, so I don't expect it to be completely perfect.
I can't wait to see it.
I've always wanted to go to like a tattoo shop and just like, you know, show the artist like my style, you know, like what I like, and then be like, create whatever you want. I won't give you any ideas. This is what I have on my body currently. This is what I am drawn to. You want to base your idea off of that, go for it. And I will let you tattoo me whatever you want.
That's you should go to like the place in Dallas that does that. They're like known for that, and you can get like a huge one for like $100 or whatever.
That'd be cool. You better send pictures.
So I will.
We tried to do that in Branson, and but it was one where they
like the gumball machine.
Yeah, it was like a gumball machine, and we didn't really like it. I don't think Lynn's the only one that did the one that came out of the machine,
and even then, I'm talking about getting it covered.
Yeah, and she didn't like it.
See, it'd be like
so basic.
It'd be like $10 down in quarters, just trying to like get one that I want.
Yeah. You gotta pay for the tattoo first. Like you have to pay the $100 in order to even do it. And if you don't like it, he'll give you like you can either get like a little phrase or whatever instead, or he'll give you like you have to pay another 50 and then you can do it spin it a second time.
Mm.
Right? That's how we explain it.
I don't know. I was drunk.
I was just like, sure, you know what? Fuck it. Put it on me. And
we went to the winery right before that.
No, we were at the sports bar across the parking lot.
That was totally a different day.
Oh, we went there the same day. Didn't we go back there and get more drinks? I don't
know. Then we went to like
yeah.
We went to like the downtown place. I think that's what you're thinking.
Dude, our Uber driver was terrifying.
He was sketchy.
Oh gosh.
He was talking about, you know, how he lives off in the middle of nowhere and has no neighbors. And he's like his driving. I thought he was gonna kill us.
Yeah, I did. And he was like, maybe I'll see you guys again next time. And we were like, yeah. And then he was our Uber driver the next time.
No.
Like he was like waiting for us or something.
It was creepy.
Talking to the other side is so interesting to me.
Yeah.
Like I've always wanted to like have a session with a medium. Is that crazy?
No, I think it'd be cool too. My favorite thing on TikTok is the animal communicators. Like them talking to dogs and all that. I'm really into that right now.
I've only seen a couple of videos where people talk about that, but that sounds so cool. Are you gonna talk to dudes?
I think it'd be cool too. Or her. Figure out
Yeah.
the life
Can you talk to both? That's so cool.
Yes, there's a lady who can do like present or like past. So
What?
yeah, one of them talked to. There is this like racehorse, and she had like done him, and the racehorse was a diva. Like it basically was like I want it to be like my moment, and it like had requested that it wear more like red or blue and like different things like that. So
that's so crazy.
It's interesting to watch. Yeah, I come across my feed. I'll have to send them to you guys.
I've always wanted to talk to Kita. Well, whenever she was like smaller, I wanted to ask her why she was such an asshole. But now I kind of like both of them, so now I just wanted to be able to
asshole.
But she'll like talk to me though. She'll like to me, and I'm like, what? Do you want to go outside? Or and I'll just like ask her things, and then eventually she'll like do a circle, and I'm like, okay.
She does a little body wiggle.
Yeah.
That is so. I cannot wait. I'm so gonna buy tickets.
Yeah, no, it looked good. I know, like, I haven't bought them yet, but your brother was like, I don't want to sit towards the front because, like, he calls people out in the audience to do things.
Oh, I do. Oh, I'm so innocent.
You're like, volunteers tribute.
Yes. We went to a hypnotist. I went to a hypnotist in college, and I sat in the front row. I was like, I'm so getting hypnotized. I hated it, but whenever I went, I was like, I'm so gonna get hypnotized. And I sat in the front row. And then, like, literally the very first thing that he did, I was just like in it. And then the next thing I knew, I was on this stage, which if you've never been hypnotized, it is the craziest thing that you've like, drugs are crazy, but no, like that was like a whole experience.
Oh gosh. Yeah, well, we will make sure you get volunteered out there. I was gonna say, but no, it looks fun. So look it up. Wait for it.
All right. See, I was told I couldn't get pregnant. I had moved to Idaho with Michael and Monica for a little bit, and at that point, it had been about a year since I had even had a period. So I went to the doctor, didn't know what was going on, wanted to find out more. And they did so many tests, drew so much blood and everything. And they're like, we can't figure out what's wrong with you. We're just going to do an ultrasound, figure out what's going on, see if you got cysts, blah, blah, blah. So I go in and they do the ultrasound, which was not fun. Okay, they make you drink like 64 ounces of water an hour before your appointment, and you are not allowed to pee until after.
We did it on the belly one or in the vagina one.
Inside.
They made you drink water for that?
Yes. I had a full bladder. Like, I thought I was going to pee on the lady when she was doing it. And then I went to my next appointment after the ultrasound, and she told me that I had an arcuate uterus, which, I didn't bother looking it up when she told me because she's a doctor. I'm going to believe what she says.
Never believe them.
She told me I had an arcuate uterus and that my uterus was shaped like a heart instead of like a diamond, and it could cause me to not be able to get pregnant, and that I may likely never get pregnant on my own. So I was like, okay, traumatizing information to receive.
Which is very inaccurate, by the way.
Oh yeah, I've done some research since then, like some Googling, and it doesn't even affect your chance at pregnancy.
Yes, that diagnosis is whatever she said was very wrong.
I wish I could remember.
I'm so sorry that she traumatized you for no reason, because I would just have so sued her.
But
yeah.
But anyways, I went on. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna focus on me, and I started losing my weight and getting my life together, and then
like coming to terms with it.
yeah. And then I meet Chance, and boom, baby.
9-1.
Right, God works in the craziest ways. Like that is so wild.
And I'll show you.
But yeah, it wasn't until I was pregnant with Ellie that I, did research on what the doctor told me I had. Because, like I brought it up at the appointment when I went, and they were like, that don't matter. It makes no difference. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, she told me I'd never be able to have kids on my own.
Crazy.
I've been told that multiple times. Like I had a doctor in the ER one night. I ended up with a UTI was my official diagnosis, but the ER doctor came in and told me that I had an STD before she had results. She told me that I probably had an STD,
I've had
and
a
the
doctor do that
STD
too.
that
It
she
wasn't even a
thought that it
doctor, it was
was.
a nurse do that to me.
Yeah, the STD that she thought that it was, she was like, and if you, and since we do think that you have this, we do need to let you know that you will not be able to have children and da 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 da. And I was like, I mean, I just immediately don't believe doctors. So I just didn't believe her.
This is the night I took you.
Yeah. Yeah, and my sister's there, and she was like, do you want your sister to leave?" And I was like, "No, you can tell me anything." And then she was like, "Yeah, so unless you've cheated on your boyfriend or your boyfriend's cheated on you, somehow you got an STD." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "You can double check everything because you're wrong." And yeah, and so I think that was like definitely not my first interaction with doctors that made me not trust the medical system.
Yeah.
But that was definitely one of the final ones that made me not trust them because I'm just like, they're just here to make money. And if you think, I've had so many different jobs in my life, and every single job, I'm just there to make money. Everybody is just at their job to make money. So I'm like, I understand, that's just what you're doing, but I mean, you can wait for results before you traumatize a 20-year-old.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Crazy. People are wild.
Do you have any traumatizing doctor stories?
Probably more than I can count on behalf of my mom.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, I remember when, so we took her to, where was it? Las Vegas, like on a trip. Because, I mean, not a whole lot of people would come visit her, or like it wouldn't be often. And she just like felt like she didn't have a lot of excitement. And so Justin and I were like, let's go. So we were road tripping out to Las Vegas. Well, in that road trip, she fell and broke her arm.
Mhm.
And they had given her hydrocodone. Well, I didn't realize that. Like I like swear it was supposed to be something else, and then we got the pills, and I realized that it was like shit. So we went to Vegas, like when we got there to the hospital, and they gave her like low dose morphine pills because of how much pain she was in. Which at the time I was like, oh my god, we're gonna get a relief, but like hindsight, I should have been like, oh shit. And so, and at the time she's doing peritoneal dialysis, which is where they do the pour in your stomach to your peritoneal cavity. You fill it up with a certain solution. It attracts like all of the bad shit in your body and like basically like funnels it out instead of like doing her blood. And so we were doing those manually. Well, on our way back home in Flagstaff, Arizona, we were all talking about something, and I looked back, and she, they thought she was asleep, but she was passed out. And so I thought she like went into hypochondriac like shock and was just like out. And so I was like putting sugar in her mouth, and I was like slapping her and like trying to get her awake. And I mean like slapping her. Like it felt guilty. And so, anyways, we got her in the ER, and they like did medicine, and she like was good. And so then they like let us go and sent us on our way the next day. Well, we are maybe like 20 minutes from Flagstaff, like headed out, and it happens again. And at this point, she like was like not breathing, and so we ended up like getting back to the hospital. Your brother drove like he was Lightning McQueen, like we were so fast, and we got her inside, and they ended up admitting her, and the doctor kept telling us it was seizures. He was like, well, and like she was in a coma from that, and it's seizures. Like all he kept saying was it's seizures. And I remember like talking with Justin and my brother, and like calling him and being like, seizures don't feel right. Like I'm very in tune with my body, and being a caregiver, like you very much get in tune with theirs. Like obviously, like not in a like feeling type of way, but like you can see it.
Right.
And I was like, that's not right. And so I felt like out of that whole hospital, there was like only the ER doctor like truly listened to me and let me advocate for her. Because I remember the other doctor, like the ICU doctor, came in and was like, we're doing everything I can. And I was like, are you? Like, are you? Because like you haven't done shit. Like that doctor's done amazing, but like, what have you done? And he got so defensive. You don't need to be talking to us like that. We're doing the best we can. And I'm just like, but you're not though. Exactly. And so I remember we were just like, I was praying hardcore about it. Like, I knew it wasn't time. I knew it wasn't it. It wasn't like, I just didn't feel it. And then somehow, like, my brother and I was like, oh my God, like, she is overdosing. And so we started looking it up, and her brain activity was fine. Like they couldn't, they weren't recording seizures. Where did the seizures come from?
Right.
And so like finally, the doctor came back in, and I was begging him. I was like, please, like just entertain me. Give her Narcan and see what happens. And so finally, like days it felt like. I'm pretty sure it was a couple days. They finally agreed to it. They gave her Narcan. She woke right up and was like, "What is happening?" And so then they realized they misdiagnosed the morphine, because I kept telling her she needs to do her kidney treatments too, and they weren't. They realized that her no treatments was leaving that morphine in her body. She basically was in a coma. And so
A morphine-induced coma.
yes. And so they ended up doing dialysis. We were there, I think, 2 weeks almost in total, like going back and forth, fighting and pleading with them.
Right.
And thankfully, there was like no brain damage or anything like that. But the ignorance of him not wanting to listen to us, like, prolonged it probably by that other week.
Yeah, and doctors are so convinced because they get to stand behind a degree, and because they get to stand behind the insurance company and their malpractice insurance that they pay for. They get to stand behind all that, and because of that, they have an inflated ego that they feel like gives them a sense of advocacy that other people they don't think have or should have. And I think that that is one of the biggest problems with our medical system. Yeah. I have told my mom every single time, and I will say this: fuck St. John's in Bartlesville, Ascension, whatever the fuck they are now.
Phillips, back in the day.
Yes, like they are the worst hospital. Do not ever take, if you love your family, don't take them there. They will, they've killed everybody that we've taken there. Freaking Uncle Bill was there with, or Uncle Chris was there for a freaking stint. They couldn't even put the stint in right. Like, and then they thought that it had dislodged itself, and then they couldn't save him after it dislodged. And so like that's their fault. They did the surgery poorly the first time. I told mom after Uncle Chuck died and after Uncle Chris died, I was like, every single freaking time you should have sued that hospital for malpractice. Every single time it was their fault. Every time. And when Uncle Tuck died, I was a child. This is before I even got into all of the whole advocacy, all of the whole nutrition, the education, my background, everything that I've gone through has been because of stupid, idiotic doctors that do not know what they're talking about. There was absolutely no reason for any of that to happen.
Yeah.
They could have taken care of their patients so much better. And I just hate Western medicine. It's just for profit, and that's all that it is.
I remember one time mom was in the hospital there, and um, she like needed her medicine. They would not give her the medicine, and so I ended up having to drive all the way back home to Pahuska to get our prescription to take it to the hospital for her to take. And I think it was for like, I think it was her blood pressure medicine or like maybe her diabetes. It was like one of the two. It was like necessary.
Yeah.
And so, and then I get back and they're like, oh, well, we ended up talking to someone else and gave the okay, so we gave it to her. So
Yeah, I had Ellie there, and I was so not happy with the way I was treated or how things were done. So after I had her, we spent an hour doing skin to skin and hanging out in the delivery room before they moved me to my regular room. Well, right before my nurse left, she said, I'm getting ready to leave, but I will make sure I bring you back some food, something to eat. 20 hours, nothing. All I had was a cup of jello and a popsicle for those whole 20 hours.
That you were in labor.
Yeah. And so she never came back with the sandwich. Nobody ever brought me food. It ended up being like 11 o'clock at night. We were in the hospital room, and I ended up just getting on DoorDash and having to order food. And then they told Chance if he went outside to pick it up that somebody would let him back in. They refused. He had to go all the way through the emergency room, like walk around the entire building and go back into the emergency room to get back to me.
oh my
Oh,
god.
you're so glad I was not there. Literally, I am not the person
Well,
to take to the hospital. I will straight up scream at doctors.
not even that. It's they didn't provide me with any aftercare products like for down there.
Like diapers,
Yeah, if
anything.
it wasn't for you buying me stuff for my baby shower, I would have had nothing to recover with.
Wow.
That's so sad.
That
Yeah.
is so sad.
I didn't even get towels to take a shower.
Are you
Nothing.
freaking kidding me? Oh my God. And you paid how much to have birth there, to give birth there?
Well, I mean, I didn't pay out of pocket for anything,
How
but
much
it
was your
was
bill?
like $12,000.
Yeah, for no care. Thank you, St. John's. Ascension.
The nurse, the lactation specialist that they sent in, I kept asking questions like, why won't she latch? And she's not explaining anything to me. She's just like, sometimes they don't do that. I'm sure she's fine. Instead of saying, oh, babies drink their amniotic fluid, she's probably still full from that, and it can take up to a day for her to feel hungry.
I remember when Allison
And
came home, she was like, she hasn't eaten since I had her, and she was like really worried, but
yeah, I was too, and all I was really wanting was like information. Like if she would have just told me that,
right. If she would have just
I would
eased
have
your
been fine.
anxiety, yeah.
But she ended up taking this tube with like some sugar water and putting it down Ellie's throat to, like put something on her stomach. And she ended up doing too much, and it came up and got into her lungs, and she instantly started choking, turning purple. I was freaking out. She turned her over, swatted her on the back. Traumatizing.
Yeah.
I will never go back
Yeah. Yeah. I I agree. I if just don't take your loved ones there. Do not. If you can go further, go further. Go to Tulsa, go to Owasso.
Hell, go to Ponca.
Yeah, go to Fairfax, Ponca, wherever the fuck you can go. Do not go to Bartlesville, I
there. Yeah,
swear.
I ended up going to Tulsa for my second pregnancy that ended up in miscarriage, but um, even for the few appointments that I went for there, they were so kind and so nice and accommodating. Like, I would definitely go back there.
Yeah, I can't say that I've had very many positive experiences with doctors, so my faith in them is very small.
Yeah, even the OB that did my appointments that I went back to for my IUD. When I originally went back for like my 8-week appointment and he brought up birth control, I immediately said I wanted the IUD. I wasn't good with pills, the NuvaRing, none of that. I've tried it all before. I didn't like it. It didn't work. I couldn't keep up with it, whatever. And he just insisted that I do it instead of just going with what I thought was best. He fought me on it and forced me to change my mind. He said, if you still don't like it, then you can come back and do the insert. So I did that for like a month.
I guarantee that's because your insurance would have paid more for whatever he was trying to put you on.
But I did that for like a month, and then of course, I didn't keep up with it. And like I said, I wouldn't because of my ADHD. I never remembered to take the pills. So I ended up pregnant again. And after I had a miscarriage, I went back and I said, "You're going to do this. I don't care what you say. You're going to do it. And then I'm going to be done." So, like, pissed me off that he didn't listen.
Yeah, I don't think that it shouldn't be a doctor's choice to tell you what's best for yourself when everything in you is telling you that that's not correct. I think that you should always, always listen to yourself, your body, and just be in tune. Get in tune. Know yourself. Know what it is. Thank you guys for joining us this week. Can't wait to they're on the same wavelength.
Like, follow, subscribe,
Share,
and
email your friends, text them, call them, let them know.
Email us and message.
Oh yeah, reminder: email us your stories.
Your
Yes.
stories, your love stories.
Are you an asshole? We will judge you.
Yes.
Love judging.
Bye. Thank you.
See you next week.